6 minutes after 9 o'clock, Carol Baldwin is in the studio, and it is 50 degrees. Let's see, by tomorrow night, 32 degrees. So I think the weather is on everybody's mind when it comes to a lot of things, including gardening. Good morning, Carolyn. How you doing?
Real good, real good. It's warm in here. It's cold outside.
Is it really?
It is. The wind kicked up, and it's dark and dreary, and it's nasty out there.
30?
Of course, at least, I mean, we're here, and yes, I'm going to complain that it's cold because we've been in the 80s. I'm sorry, it's cold now. I feel for those who are up north who are getting nailed with one more winter storm.
Lots of snow, they say. Snow,
yeah. Well, and it's funny because I did a post. I said, what year was the March 13th storm? And, because this was March 13th yesterday. Well, It was 1993.
Oh, okay.
So we're possibly coming back, and it's the same kind of thing. Actually, I'm not sure if it's quite as severe, but, because that one was considered the storm of the century kind of thing.
Oh, but there was no snow, was there?
There was ice up in the Northeast. It was a little more of an ice storm, I think, for them. But we got rain, we got wind, we got 24 years ago, I believe it was. So.
But I was thinking 93 because I was.
Yeah, 24 years ago, which throws you into that whole thing that, I know I'm not a weather expert. I'm really not a weather person. I mean, I like the Weather Channel, but, when I watch it. But, so I don't have the statistics on it, but we do run in cycles. And if you think about it, they always used to tell you growing up, every, you change every 7 years. We go through, it seems to be approximately 7-year cycles of weather also.
Could be,
I'm not into it's not global warming, it's a cyclic event.
Yeah.
But that 24 years ago, on this same time period, we're going through a very similar weather issue.
Mm-hmm.
Because my garden on that storm was up. My beans were up a few inches. I had tomatoes in the ground. Why? Because we had been warming up early. And then
we had a tornado that came through Ocala that day too.
Yeah, there was all kinds of So it's if you look back on just recent history, you can see that we're going through some cycles. I can't recall now. I mean, we may have a weather guru out there or somebody who really knows how to flip through some of the data that might be out there that would show whether or not. Because I'm having a feeling that we're getting ready to go into a dry period. So it's one of those things. I can't remember back now what the weather did, previous to that and following that. Where were we on tropical storms? How our summer went that year? Whether or not we were dry? Because we'll go into almost what they call a 7-year cycle where we will drop into a drought period and it takes a few years to come out, and then we'll balance out and we'll be normal for a couple of years, and it starts to go back down. So it runs in cycles.
Wow.
But, yeah.
See, I never even looked at it that way.
Yeah.
I guess if you follow it, you can.
If you can follow it, you can see it. If you keep a garden diary, you're probably one who can see it. I keep the diary for like a year or two, and then I forget about it and get rid of that one.
And you have to really study it too to compare.
You have to go back. Yeah, you have to go back year by year.
Why do you remember that year so well, 1993? Why does that stick out in your mind? Because of the storm?
It was the storm. Well, actually, it wasn't the 1993. I actually had to Google the date, the actual year, but I knew the March 13th storm, because it fell right before the last expected frost date for us here in Central Florida.
Okay.
And here we were in horrible, I remember trying to get out there and cover, but the wind was blowing, and, you remember that weather, event.
Why is frost more of a concern than freezing?
Actually, it's not.
It's not? Okay.
No. It's usually a frost is one of a freeze will kill a lot more. Frost is, one of those things that sometimes happens either early in the season or late in the season when things start.
So we could get a frost Wednesday? Wednesday night?
I thought I saw something we could get freeze.
Oh, yeah, 32 is what it
32,
says.
32, yeah. I mean, that's freezing temperatures, yeah. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to tomorrow at work of bringing down frost blankets and
It's a lot of work, huh?
Yeah, especially when you've got a garden center full of
Yeah.
spring blooms that we need to keep blooming. So, yeah, it's going to be real fun. Fun and exciting. And yes, I will be covering my vegetables and hoping for the best.
But the ground you stood on when you were a little girl in New Jersey is white right now, covered with snow.
Yeah, it's probably blanketed. Yeah, I haven't talked to my sister-in-law yet to find out, but I keep them on my weather page so I can click on, and yes, they're under all that storm advisory as well.
Yeah, the whole area's got lots of snow coming in.
Lots and lots.
Kathy posted on your Facebook page. It looks like 2 inches of rain on that little.
Yeah,
gauge
we got quite a bit of rain. I didn't check. That's one thing I didn't check this morning. As everybody knows, I work down in Lady Lake. Well, all day yesterday, we really didn't have much rain down there, and even into because I closed last night. I didn't get off work till 10. I was out playing in the rain. Yes, I got wet, but not seriously. I mean, I was not soaked or anything like that. I tried to wear a raincoat, and those things just get in the way. But as I was driving home, though, it was progressively getting harder, and it looked like it had been raining hard a good length of time for at least on my dirt road, because it was a good amount of water on it. So.
We were talking to Lori from Bob Wines yesterday, and I guess this is the time of year to start putting new things in the ground.
Oh, sure. It's a nice, the spring planting. That's there's 100 days between March and first part of June. Everybody's getting in those new landscape plants and all the new blooms, all the new perennials, all that kind of stuff. We
were talking about how we know that summer's around the corner when we start getting news releases from the theme parks.
Oh,
we always say we don't have a weatherman. We have
theme park reports.
We have news releases.
News release, theme park advertising, and right. Yeah, the blackout dates and.
Well, it looks like they send it like it's news.
Right.
But it's really just an advertisement, like disguised as news.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that public service announcement for Disney. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's this time of year, and we're all thinking, we're people getting out there, we're pruning, we've got new growth on everything, we've put in those spring annuals, where our vegetable gardens, our beans are up, our tomatoes may or may not be in the ground. If you haven't put them in the ground, wait, and you may wish to cover if you've got, pine needles or anything like that, you can rake into the garden. That's going to help. We don't have an issue with anything going to be water stressed, so you don't need to go out and water. If you want to cover, and you could cover tonight if you wanted to, or just get your frost blankets out and handy, and make sure that they get pinned to the ground or weighted to the ground somehow, because that's how you keep the warm air from the earth. Is what's going to keep your. I
have a question about those pine needles, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break. By the way, if you have a question for Carol Ann, we invite you to call in. The number is 622-9622. We missed you last week, but this week Carol Ann is here live and in color. And we'll be right back. 622-9622. Carol Ann does the show for a whole hour every week. So we've got 45 minutes left, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, breezy and cooler than recent days with clouds breaking for some sun. The high 65 in the north to 72 in the south. Clear and colder tonight. Lows ranging from the upper 30s in the northern interior parts of the zone to 46 along the coast. For Wednesday, sunny and cool, high 58 to 64. Thursday, mostly sunny, highs in the low to mid-60s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
What you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Instagram is also good for real estate because it's searchable. So you can search for a hashtag like a city name or even a certain neighborhood and find a listing you may not have seen otherwise. Rooms with candlelight and soft music help people eat about 120 fewer calories per meal compared to eating somewhere bright and loud. Would you like to be more likable and considered great leadership material? Just use your hand gestures wisely.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
All right, 60 minutes after 9 o'clock. Carolyn Baldwin is here, and if you have a question for Carolyn, the number is 622-9622. I saw the phone ringing just a second ago, and here we go. Okay, let me take a phone call, then I want to ask my question. Good morning, you're on the air with Carolyn. Thank you for calling.
Hi, I would love to hear Caroline's thoughts about the garden show this past weekend.
Oh, okay. All right, that's a great one. I thought it was a real good show. The weather on Saturday was fantastic. I mean, you almost couldn't have picked a better day. Had a great turnout. I'm trying to think of what they said. I want to say Sunday ended up being a little messy. That in the afternoon we didn't get the turnout because the rain did come in, and I think people just decided, even if they got there, they waited out some of the rain. A few more people came in, but it slowed down rather quickly after that. But Saturdays, I thought I saw happy vendors where they were doing some fantastic sales. There was some gorgeous color to be seen out there. Even if you didn't purchase anything, there was some great plants just to go look at, get some ideas, talk with the vendors who are all professionals. They know what they're doing. Had a lot of tropical fruits and things like that you're not going to find everywhere else. And we had Luis Camacho, who was doing the talks on growing the tropicals here in Central Florida, which you can do. I mean, we grow papaya, we grow some of the hardy avocado, we grow bananas, malanga, which is a root crop. We can grow the yucca and things like that, which is your tapioca plant. And so we had him talking about them, and we had vendors there that were selling them. I thought it was a great time. I thought everybody I talked to was at least the vendors had a successful weekend, and I thought it was a pretty good turnout.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Probably it was better to have it when it was than this coming weekend.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I guess.
I think. Well, I'm not sure what this coming weekend is supposed to be. It may be nice. It might be a little chilly, which is okay. I mean, when you get a big event like that and you're walking around in an open area, if it's a little cooler, it's usually better than it being too hot.
Yeah.
And I know Kanapaha is this coming weekend up in Gainesville, Kanapaha Gardens. Their big spring show. So. There's another event for you if you need to walk through some more garden.
When you have an event like that, do you end the event thinking next year we should, and then fill in the blank?
They do go through after the fact. We usually run through, and they get evaluations. We get people to fill out evaluations on both the educational seminars as well as the overall event, so we can go through and compile and find out, what maybe some people would rather hear about, or which speakers maybe were fantastic, which ones others were maybe mediocre, which we might weed out some different, or is that just it's getting repetitive? We've seen this 5 times in the last 5 years. Let's get something different in. We do, even I think we end up with critique all the way to the food vendors that are there. Because we actually even have a food court, so that while you're there, you don't have to worry about being hungry. You don't have to go anywhere and come back, because parking can be hard.
It's part of our culture. We like to have food,
festival food,
no matter what
and
you
they
do.
put the kettle corn guy right there to where I don't care. At 8:00 in the morning, kettle corn smells really, really good. It just sort of makes you go, I want popcorn. I thought it was a good turnout. The 4-H kids were our runners again this year. Those kids do a fantastic job. They work for tips, which helps to take care of their programs for the next year. I mean, these kids who raise livestock, animals for the youth fair,
Right.
they're buying that animal, they're feeding that animal, caring
Right.
for it. If they need a veterinary, this is all something that they have to record, they have to take care of. It's all part of a huge learning process, and it's not cheap. And so these kids, they work their fannies off to do this, and it's a great service. I mean, you see the people come in and go, how do we get one of these kids? We hear that there's kids that'll go out and,
right.
and follow us around. Yeah, they're right there. Go sign in for one. So.
Oh, wow. It's like almost like having a caddy.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah,
Yes, very much so. But it was a great turnout.
So one of the things that Lori was talking about from Bob Wines yesterday was the bales of pine
straw.
Straw?
Pine needles,
okay.
yeah.
So now in Rainbow Lakes Estates, where I used to live, there was lots of pine trees everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And so when the wind would blow, it would get all over the yard, and you would
Right.
rake it up and throw it away. So I'm wondering, would it have been better to rake it up and spread it out in the garden instead of throwing it away?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know
Well, that's
that.
the same thing with everybody rakes up their oak leaves and puts them in a bag on the curb. Well, rake them up, spread them out in the beds, and you're getting that same effect of a mulch. They break down slowly when they're whole. The pine needles, that they're not going to break down real quick. They really don't change the pH of the soil. It's
Well,
not.
I thought she said they did. I thought she said it made it more acid.
Not significantly.
No?
Not significantly. No.
Is that
you
not
would
good?
have to put. No, I mean, if it were ever, because that was everybody. Oh, don't use pine needles. Don't use pine bark. It's going to change your pH. Not enough to damage any plants. Most plants prefer a slightly acidic soil anyway.
That's what I got.
Versus an alkaline.
That was the impression I got. I thought it would be a good thing.
It is somewhat of a benefit, but it doesn't change it so significantly that you're going to damage anything, or that you can, you would have to add an awful lot to make that a difference.
The phone line is open if you would like to call Carol Ann. We invite you to do that. The number is 622-9622. Carol Ann has also established a Facebook page called In the Garden, and you can become part of that club. I'm part of that club. It's an easy club to be a part of.
Yeah, just ask to join.
I don't have to go anywhere. There's no dues to pay.
There's no dues to pay, and every so often we throw out a tidbit, which Kathy Snyder actually did, and I'd like to talk about that probably when we come back from the break. It was an article on a finger lime being a possible new crop for citrus growers, but it has. I see so many different ways of possibly saving our citrus industry. We need citrus within that. We need it. How could we go without lemonade? How can we go without the grapefruit at breakfast or orange juice, and things like that? That I had read through a good part of this, and it seems like the plant itself has an extreme tolerance to the they shorten it to HLB, but it's the citrus greening.
Have you ever heard of this thing? I'm looking.
I
at the
had not
picture.
heard of it, but it sounds to me so really cool. I mean, I would love to try it.
I mean, it looks
like they said
nasty.
It looks kind of great. Yeah, the fruit itself looks weird, and that the little juice pustules are.
But if you think about it, when you eat an orange,
and I remember as a kid pulling them out and squishing them, and everybody loves pomegranates, which have that same thing, kind of thing. And that these, I can just see a nice fish dish garnished with these little deals instead of a slice of lemon. These, on top, I can
wonder what it tastes like.
Well, it's a citrus, more like the lime because it's a lime, a little more acidic. It's not a sweet, but they're working on trying to do some
that looks
some breeding.
I would try that.
Oh yeah.
Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Carol Ann.
Good morning, Doug.
I was wondering about the papaya seed.
Okay.
I wonder about to plant them.
Well, you can plant them. They will grow. They're a big tree, though. They do get up. They get very tall. It's not something you would keep too much in a flower pot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they get up to probably about 15 feet tall. So that's a pretty big tree, and they need a lot of sunshine and quite a bit of water.
Okay.
All right.
What's your Facebook? I want to join that.
Well, just look for the In the Garden. It's you would go to the Facebook and just search for In the Garden, and it'll ask if you want to join, and ask to join, and I will accept your membership.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Enjoy your program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling.
Thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
We've got a few minutes left before we take the break, and we certainly would love to hear from you. The number is 622-9622. That would be an interesting tree, 15-foot tall tree. Huh?
Yeah, the papaya trees really, and they will grow here. They will fruit here. Some years they're going to get knocked all the way back. Some years you may lose it completely, but they're such a fast grower, and they produce quickly. Only thing is unless I think there are some hybrids possibly that you don't need a male and a female, but most of the time you do need both. And until the tree is growing, you don't know which one's which. So it's one of those that if you can keep them, you're doing well. So
did you comment on this? Oh, you did comment on the one Joe Niles put up on here. That was a week ago already.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I just saw it for the first time. Okay.
The homemade herbicide.
Do it yourself, yeah. So is that good?
I don't see why we're doing Epsom salt, except that I guess Epsom salt isn't near as harsh as, say, rock salt would be, and it's going to dissolve more quickly. You could do table salt, but I guess it doesn't build up and become quite as toxic as what table salt or something like that would be. I'm not sure really where the magnesium benefit is on that, but vinegar will kill weeds. It will. They even have supposedly that you can buy online where it's a higher acidity, what it'll do is it burns the tops off of them. And if you continue to burn the top off, you'll actually make that weed die. It's not going to be sucked in and kill the root zone, but over time, if you keep at it, and it's a natural you add dish soap, it's no longer an organic product unless you're using an organic dish soap. It's just a little more earth-friendly, maybe you'd say.
Okay.
So that kind of stuff. Your soap is just adding as a sticker to help that stick to the plant.
So when I put vinegar on my salad, I'm basically killing the lettuce.
They were already dead. You already murdered them, either ripping them apart or chopping them with a knife, or after they were actually harvested with a knife of some kind.
Oh, wow.
So, we already murdered those.
All right, we are almost up against the break, so we won't say a whole lot here. But can I throw something in real quickly? Honey Baked Ham has a thing, and I forgot to mention this earlier this morning. They're giving away a lunch for 10. 10 people. 10 people lunch.
10 people lunch.
And the person they give it to will be the person you nominate. And it has to be somebody that you want to say something nice about. Like say, you can't nominate yourself and you can't nominate a business.
Right, okay.
You just say, let's say I want to nominate you. I would like to nominate Carol Ann because she gives an hour of her week every week to be on WOCA, not to mention the time it takes to drive here. And so you would then get 10 lunches. And you
when they select, if you're the winner, then
right. So if you want to get your name in that, or somebody else's name,
name in, right?
You call us,
right?
732-8000, and you can do it right now. Mm-hmm. And Patsy will take your call. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu.
Mother Nature had to hit us with this because we had a beautiful winter.
He's in Boston, where at least 8 inches of snow are expected from the massive storm slamming the Northeast.
There are 5,900 flights which have been canceled because of this storm. And when you look at how it's paralyzing travel from New York to Boston, Amtrak, usually you can take the train, they have canceled a Acela service today to Boston, and they have delayed service on their regional trains, and that includes going south to Washington, delayed service.
Adam Shapiro with the Fox Business Network. The Fed will hold an interest rate policy meeting as planned today and tomorrow. Many analysts expecting an interest rate hike at the conclusion of the meeting. And the city of Everett, Washington, suing the maker of OxyContin, accusing drug maker Purdue Pharma of knowingly letting pills flood the black market and the city and doing nothing to stop it. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Don't miss the Ace Buy 2 Get 1 Free paint sale. Now through Monday only. Buy 2 gallons of our top paint brands, Valspar, Clark & Kensington, and Royal, and get the third gallon free. That's right, buy 2 gallons, get 1 free. You know what else is free? The help, because the paint experts at your local Ace will take the time to make sure you get everything you need in one trip. Brushes, rollers, tape, everything. Only at Ace. Offer valid through March 20th. Prices may vary. Limit 2 free gallons of equal or lesser value. See participating store for details.
Heavy rain this morning causing backed up traffic all the way to
Please remove all laptops and
Folks, we're number 9 on the list for takeoff, so settle in, keep those seatbelts fastened.
What fries with that?
Welcome to Westin.
Travel can be disruptive to your well-being. That's why at Westin Hotels and Resorts, we have rejuvenating heavenly beds, a nutritious superfoods RX menu, and a workout gear lending program to help you stay in control and rise above it all. Westin, let's rise.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson from Verizon. You work all day, right? So why would you want to spend your night out shopping for that new phone? Well, Marion County, let me and Verizon help you out. I can deliver to your home or office, saving you precious time. Phone, tablets, internet, home phones, even accessories. Whatever you need, we will deliver free of charge. Call me at the store, 352-528-0020. That's 528-0020.
That was the sound of a tree falling. It could be your tree. You're going to have it trimmed, but never got around to calling Pride Tree Service. It could have fallen in a field, and now all you have to do is call Pride Tree Service, and they'll have it quickly out of the way for a great price. But don't wait until the tree falls. It may not fall in the field. It may hit your car, your house, or worse. So call Pride Tree Service today and avoid all those headaches before they happen. Pride Tree Service, 572-2510. That's 572-2510.
The NFL alumni is sponsoring a Clays for Kids, a sporting event to benefit the Marion County Children's Charity. The event will take place at the Robinson Ranch in Inglis, Florida on Saturday, April 8th. Call 427-0950 for detailed information. The NFL alumni will provide gift bags, breakfast, lunch, prizes, and drawings throughout the day. Call 427-0950 for detailed information on the Clay for Kids sporting event, hosted by the NFL alumni.
Mr. Webster defines a caterer as someone who provides food and refreshment. Whether you are looking to provide an excellent meal and a refreshment for a small group, party, business meeting, or a large get-together, Honey Baked Ham, 2709 Southwest 27th Avenue in Ocala, will provide the delicious breakfast, lunch, or dinner items of your choice. No need for you to fret over the details. Let Honey Baked Ham handle it all. Call Honey Baked Ham today at 352-861-0011. That's 861-0011.
You're going to love your new windows and the immediate energy savings when you work with Renewal by Anderson. You'll experience legendary quality installation. Visit renewalbyanderson.com for a free in-home consultation with the pros. Right now, save $300 on every window and $850 on patio doors. No money down, 0% interest, and 0 payments for 12 months with approved credit. Visit renewalbyanderson.com. That's renewalbyanderson.com. But hurry, offer ends March 31st. License CGC 1524135.
Coming this and every second Friday of the month at 11 a.m. is Trinity Healthcare Medical Center with your host, Dr. David Kuhn. Trinity Healthcare Medical Center is Ocala's only progressive primary care clinic. Be sure to listen in and also check their website at thcmc.com. Then call them with your questions at 512-0000. That's 512-0000. That's every second Friday at 11 a.m. for Trinity Healthcare Medical Center here on The Source WOCA.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. Carol Ann Baldwin is here. This show is called In the Garden with Carol Ann, and Carol Ann volunteers to do this. It's something she does just so the rest of us can have better gardens and little tips on how to make those gardens. And it seems like every tip you have is like either free or very, very affordable. You have all these great ideas that you don't have to go buy a whole bunch of stuff.
No, generally not. I mean, it's or if you do, it's usually get the better. You know, if I'm telling somebody to pick out a pruner,
for a particular
or
product,
a tool or something
Yeah.
like that, it's get the get what you're going to pay, what you're paying for.
Yeah,
you know, kind of thing is, if you only need it for a one-time use, okay, you might get away with the less expensive. But why? We live so much in a throwaway society as it is. So if we can do things a little better than that.
When people use herbicides on the lawn itself, not the edge, but the lawn, don't they risk killing the grass too?
Yes, they do if they use the wrong one. Or if they use it inappropriately, or at the wrong time of year, and things like that. It's my mantra: read and follow the label instructions. They'll tell you on many of these that say the ones that you might put on your garden hose or mix in your own pump sprayer, do not use them over 85 degrees. Which means if it's going to be 85 degrees out that day, even though it's 65 in the morning at 9 a.m. while you're spraying, if that day it's going to 85 degrees, don't use it.
Why? What happens?
It can burn.
Like as a fire?
No, it will burn, damage the leaves of your grass.
Okay.
Because it'll get too hot. So we try to do things. If you can get away with doing them at night, usually it will have broken down enough by the time the temperatures got up into those higher temperatures. If you use it in the evening, or when it has cooled back down at the end of a day. People always ask for, well, how do you use this? And you tell them, but I'm also at the finishing of it is because they're looking at me like trying to remember how many ounces to a gallon. So the instructions are right here on the back. Follow those. My tip for that is once you know it, because all those instruction pages fall off of them, I write the mixture, if it's a set amount, right on the side of the bottle with a Sharpie marker. At least that way, when the label gets crunched and wet and no longer readable, hopefully you can still read it on the side of your bottle. That, or take the instruction manual off, put it in with your garden diary where you've got all the labels from the plants that you bought, so you know which ones were good, or that when you want to get another one, you can get that one again.
One part of a label that I wanted to ask you about.
Mm-hmm.
When the active ingredient, the first ingredient in the list of active ingredients, is different on a product than it is on another product that claims to do the same thing. Like let's say two weed killers, and the active ingredient in one is different than the active ingredient.
Another,
I always wonder, how do you know which one is the better one?
They're not necessarily one better than the other. They may work a little bit differently. Yes, because there's a couple brands out there, and they will, one will have the glyphosate, and the other one may start with the diquat or something like that. But it's not that necessarily one is better than the other. What happens is when you're looking at your ready to use, these are the ones that are already mixed up for you, they're in their own sprayers, and comparing, say, the name brand to the store brand, and then on your concentrations on that.
The number
which
that
one's
follows
going to be the better. Your store brand might be 0.1% less than the other one, which still means it's going to work. It may not work quite as effectively, kind of thing. You can't necessarily compare it on the concentrates, because on concentrates you are going to dilute that per the instructions, and you're going to bring that down just about to what that ready-to-use product is. So it's, unless they give you multiple,
Gotcha, right.
harder to kill weeds, your concentrates work for you that you have that secondary mixing rate that is for the hard to kill weeds, which is allowing you to mix it, and your final outcome will be a higher percentage to the mix. And so, yes, you are buying water when you buy insecticides and herbicides and stuff like that are mixed. And same way when they're in concentrate form, because none of us, if we got a little tiny 2-ounce vial, could take an eyedropper and bring up 2 milliliters and put that into that quart of water to go spray. When if you're taking that 2 ounces to the gallon, break that down that it's 1 ounce and a half a gallon, or a half an ounce in a quart.
And we would probably always overdo it.
We would overdo it, and hence we would be either harming ourselves. Well, we would be harming ourselves and our environment, because nobody errs on the side of caution, unfortunately.
The phone line is open if you want to call in. The number is 622-9622. So you work at Lowe's.
Yeah.
And you have the garden center as your
that's
your
my
baby.
spot. Yeah. That's my place. I am the live nursery sales specialist.
By the way, I have a question for you. It's a very, very big building, Lowe's,
Yes.
right?
Oh, it's huge.
Right. So is Walmart.
Mhm.
Okay. Walmart workers always seem to be unhappy.
Yeah.
Lowe's workers don't seem to have that problem.
It depends on who you talk to.
Oh,
but most
really?
And, if you.
But I was said to Robin, I think it's the big building. I think when there's a big building, it's hard for people to be happy.
I think sometimes it's just the amount of.
But you guys don't. I don't ever remember.
I don't have a hard time with it. Whether or not I was but that's just my personality. Yeah, I think some people maybe and I don't want to say it sound negative, that people that work at Walmart just feel like they get abused, and sometimes anybody in retail gets abused by the customer.
Yes, by the customer.
By the customers generally, and sometimes management might not be. You may be your manager.
Do you ever get abused by the customer?
Oh yeah. Oh. And the next time a guy comes in and does like he did, I will call the police on him. That's how bad he was.
Well, tell me.
He was screaming at the top of his lungs.
Recently?
about a week or so ago. And
at you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, what was he saying?
And I should not have been his target.
What was he mad at?
He was so angry because the register was running slow and there was a line. Everyone else in line was standing there calmly and quietly chatting, and he had to scream at the top of his lungs. And every customer who went past, I don't know where he went because I did not check him out. Said, I sure hope you don't have to check him out. He's being, outrageous. He's just, who knows, and this and that. But yeah, he was to the point where I was concerned. I didn't say a word to him.
What did he say to you?
Oh, he was saying ugly things, and so
just
about being, people being stupid and being,
gosh.
And it's like, next time you're being like that, you're twice my size. I'll call the police and have you removed.
I wouldn't even wait.
Yeah,
You know what happened to me one time?
And everybody kept saying, well, don't let him get you down. I said, I won't. He's not worth my getting upset about it. That's why I just sort of looked at him. I never opened my mouth and said a word to reply to him.
I was in line.
He didn't deserve one.
I was in line at Walmart one time, and the cashier said to me, sir, would you please tell anybody who gets behind you that you're the last person in line? This was at Christmas time.
Right.
Okay. So everybody gets behind me. I'm sorry. She told me to say I'm the last person in line. And they would leave. They would leave.
Right.
So now there's one person in front of me, and I'm going to be next, and this guy gets behind me. And I didn't see him right away. The cashier says to him, sir, I'm sorry, this man is the last in line, meaning me. He goes, what? I've been here 15 minutes. I turned around. I said, no, you haven't been here.
Right.
And he goes, what business is it of yours? I said, she gave me the job. It's my business. Oh, man, people can be mean.
Some people can be.
Unbelievable.
Yes, they can.
And I know he had just got there.
Right.
I was doing my job.
You were moving up in the line, and he stepped in, and you just didn't happen to notice him right away. Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yep.
Which has nothing to do with gardening.
No, it doesn't.
But it seems like gardening calms you down.
It should.
So that guy should be real calm. He was buying something at the garden.
Yeah, but he was just,
yeah.
He was just one of those kind of people.
We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Tuesday, breezy and cooler than recent days with clouds breaking for some sun. The high 65 in the north to 72 in the south. Clear and colder tonight. Lows ranging from the upper 30s in the northern interior parts of the zone to 46 along the coast. For Wednesday, sunny and cool, high 58 to 64. Thursday, mostly sunny, highs in the low to mid 60s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Tired of looking at stained carpets, dirty tile, or grout? Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Make your flooring look great again. Stains, pet odors, allergies. Call Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. From serving our country to serving our community. Silverback Restoration, 414-5312. Residential and commercial. Their work is guaranteed along with your satisfaction. Check their website, silverbackrestoration.com.
Sunrise Automotive, this is Matt.
Hey, Matt, it's Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Listen, we're going to be doing some traveling, and I need to make sure the car is in good shape.
Why don't you just bring it on by? Let us check it out. We can check all your belts, your hoses, your tires, all your fluids. In out of town, is that up north in the cold?
Yep.
Okay. Let's check your antifreeze. Also, let's make sure your washer fluid has got alcohol in it so it doesn't freeze up north, because that makes for a rotten day. And let's check your air pressure in your tires. Let's look at your brakes. Make sure everything is safe and secure there. Let's go through it and just make sure everything is ready to go on the road. You due for an oil change?
Yep.
Whenever you come in to get your oil change, we always check your belts, your hoses, all your lights. We go through and make sure that everything is working properly. We check all your fluid levels. We do that every time you come in to Sunrise Automotive.
So just call you back at this number?
Yeah, just give me a call back at 690-1993 whenever you're ready to come in. And you can drop it off, leave it with us, whatever's most convenient for you. Look forward to seeing you at Sunrise Automotive.
Don't get caught without your daily source of senior deals. Pick up your copy of the Senior Voice newspaper. It's your source for schedule and events tailored to seniors, with information you need, like a list of free events in the area. We even have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company to you that fits your needs. And all we ask in return is that you tell them where you heard about them. For more information, call Tom's Picks, 352-804-1223. And pick up your copy of the Senior's Voice at most any business up and down the 200 corridor. Now read Ocala Downtown Newspaper online.
News sure travels fast in a small town. When May's husband walks out on her, she quickly discovers she's the closest thing to a single woman for miles around, and the fellas start lining up at her door. Live on stage at Ocala Civic Theater, The Affections of May is a delightful romantic comedy playing March 16th through April 9th. Warm, witty, and full of laughs, The Affections of May is sure to make you smile. For tickets, call 352-236-2274. That's 236-2274. Or go to ocalacivictheater.com.
12 minutes before 10 o'clock, Carolyn Baldwin is here. Carolyn, you're one of the most giving, sweetest, kindest, good attitude people in the world, and I can't imagine the crap you have to put up with when you work in retail.
Well,
I just don't know. See, I don't even get it because I don't do it. But I watch it. Sometimes I see people go, how can you be so nasty? How can people be so nasty?
I just don't understand, too. Just in the garden, well, it's in the garden center, but it happens throughout retail is... when you decide you don't want some, or you're looking at something and you manage to take 2 or 3 off the shelf and you stand there and you off the table, which is not high off the ground, and you sit them and you look at them and you select and you pick one and you put it in the basket and you turn around and walk away. You manage to pick the other 2 up and put them on the floor to look at them. Can you not please pick them up and put them back on the table? Yeah. I mean, I know my mom taught me that if you picked it up, put it back.
Do you ever have anybody in the garden department pinch a leaf off and put it in their pocket with the intent of planting it when they get home?
I've had people ask.
Or pinch a branch off or something?
I've had people ask when we're unwrapping certain plants, when there's broken off pieces, that can they have them? And I basically say I'm not allowed to. So I'm not allowed to give them to. If they pick them up and off the floor before I get to it or something like that, there's not much I'm going to do about it. But,
I'm not stealing it, am I?
Yeah.
It's for sale, but it's on the floor.
I don't know if I've never actually seen anybody take off of a plant.
Yeah.
But like I said, the pieces that drop off. off of certain hanging baskets and stuff like that. I've seen people, I guess, pick them up, or that they've come, like I said, come and asked, and I said, I'm not allowed to, because that is just giving you plant material.
or permission.
Right.
It's almost like saying, if you see it on the floor, just take it.
Yeah. But
I often wonder that about like the gardens, like the professional gardens,
botanical gardens and things like that.
Yeah.
They usually will tell you not to. I mean, because you figure if even only 1 in 100 did that,
yeah, sure,
you're going to have a plant that's going to die. Especially if it's one particular one that, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I just want a little clipping. I just want a little cutting. I can
right.
take that with me. I can grow it from that. And you get 10 people who do that. You've got a pretty naked looking plant over time.
Can you imagine
that you
that?
would actually kill the plant? I can't remember what the plant was now, but we had one at the extension office that we used as a parent plant when our propagation department was just beginning to get its feet going, and we did basically kill that plant by taking the cuttings off. Too many cuttings, too many years in a row.
Yeah.
And yes, it stunted that plant to the point that it succumbed to outside forces, and we had to remove it. I can't remember the plant now off the top of my head. I remember where it was growing. I could put my foot probably on the spot right where it was growing, but I can't remember which one it was that we were getting. Actually, yes, I can. I think it was the Confederate rose, which is a type of hibiscus that the flowers change color. It's usually a fall bloomer. The flowers will open up white,
It's a pretty
turn
smell
pink.
too, right?
Not really much of fragrance. It's a hibiscus. So it's white and it turns pink and then becomes very dark pink or a red in the evening.
Okay.
So
I think you brought one in once, didn't you?
Yeah, or we've talked about them before.
With Doris, I feel like it was way back.
It may have been
way
yeah.
back.
We killed that one.
So I have a question, and this is probably something I should know. Okay, when you look at an egg, the yolk becomes the chicken. The white is the food that the chicken baby eats, right? In an egg?
That's what I was always led to believe.
All right, all right. So in an apple, let's say, is the fruit of the apple the food that the little seeds inside actually eat? In other words, in nature,
if an apple were to drop to the ground naturally and begin to rot,
right,
and the seeds are going to germinate, the seed itself has enough to get itself started. The embryo is in that seed. If you ever open a peanut, take a peanut and break just the little teeny peanut in half, and that little end,
little nub,
that's the embryo.
Okay.
That would be what would make that first root out of there, and that would open up. The rotting apple, yes, would probably be providing nutrient because it's decaying material down there that those little roots could take up.
So if I wanted to grow an apple tree, would it be better for me to just plant apples?
No.
Why not?
Because it would take too long, and most of the apples that you would buy in the grocery store aren't going to grow here.
Oh, okay. Well, what about something that would grow here? An orange? Would I just plant the whole orange?
No, I wouldn't, because then you'd end up with a whole bunch of them, all in one spot, and then you'd have to select.
But isn't that the way nature does it?
But you could take a seed and put it in a pot, and that way you could nurture. It's still going to do okay because there is nutrition in that soil that you're going to, or that potting medium that you're going to do.
But in nature, like a pine cone falls out of a pine tree. It's got lots of seeds in it.
Yes, and usually only a few are viable. And actually, the pine cone, they open, and those seeds disperse, or the squirrels shred them, eat the seed, and poop
so
out the
that's
rest.
part of it.
Yeah. And some seeds take fire in order to be able to
Isn't that
germinate.
interesting? In order to live, you have to have
needs to have
fire.
destruction.
Wow.
Right. But your citrus, on citrus or something like that, I would, unless you've got a long time, growing it from seed is going to take you about 15 years to get fruit, unless once it's the size of a pencil, you have grafting material that you can graft onto.
My neighbor asked me something, and I told her I would ask you.
Okay.
She wants to take one of the pups. I think I told you this from
the Sago, right.
Sago,
Sago palm.
What do you call? Okay. And then I said, Carol Ann said something about a rooting hormone.
Right. Well, yeah.
And she said, is it? And she said a brand name.
Rutone, maybe.
That might be what she said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a good name?
That Rutone is the name that always was out there. I don't know if. Because that name was like a trade name, so it was probably copyrighted.
And what do you do?
You just dust it onto, like, if you had a little cutting, you would just take and dab a little bit on that cut end.
And that'll work.
Put it in the, put it in the
grow.
ground. It's going to assist it in creating more roots, yeah. Yep.
So Rutone.
Rutone or rooting hormone. I don't even know if Rutone is out there anymore as a trade name kind of thing on the side of a bottle. It's usually going to be Root Start or rooting hormone or something like that. But it's a little powder normally. I guess there are liquids. I've not seen the liquids in retail markets. So you're usually going to find them a little powder. If you're doing several cuttings, which we usually do, put a little bit out on a little paper plate or something like that, or a little saucer, as to not contaminate your jar. Because you're going to dip this cut branch, which it's just like taking the butter knife and buttering the bread and then getting the peanut butter out and then getting the jelly out, and you've got all of this, and it's contaminating each of the items, that
So
when you
there's a
get,
good illustration.
And you can see that you always getting a little bit of that in there. And so you're cutting, you don't want to dip it in the jar, because if there was any little bit of bacteria or anything like that, you would have just contaminated your future cuttings with it.
If you have a question, you've got probably 4 minutes now to get it in. Give Carolyn some time to answer the question.
Right.
So this is a good time to call right now, 622-9622. If you have a question, by the way, during the course of the week, you can always go to the
In the Garden Facebook page and ask it, and you can post pictures that way to see if we can get a better answer on that. But I do want to direct anybody who is on the In the Garden page to this. It's a citrusindustry.net finger lime new crop. So if you go to the Citrus Industries, look up this finger lime article. It's really very interesting, and I'm seeing where's this could be something that's going to help our citrus industry. I'm seeing
like
breeding within it to create actually a whole new strain possibly of citrus. But I'm even seeing some of it possibly being that they can genetically. Yes, this is a good genetic modification of taking a strain, part of whatever the DNA is in this, that makes it resistant to the HLB and coming into the DNA of what we naturally know of us on our citrus and creating a new one that's going to still give us our tangerine or orange product that we so are accustomed to, but that is resistant to this disease that's wiping out the industry.
And before we run out of time, let's take the last call of the show. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hey, Larry, this is Dennis. I just want to let you know I was still listening. I talked to you at the Strawberry Festival. Hey, I thought I'd tell her to remind the listeners, if you take that nice-tasting orange and plant the seed, it's going to come up sour.
No, it doesn't. It comes up sweet. Citrus is the one fruit that will come true to seed, because I have seed-grown citrus trees in my yard, and they are good.
I planted a honeybell and it come up sour, and I use sour orange pie and sour orange lemonade and sour orange everything.
Oh, because I've got
come up sweet.
I've got sweet tangerine trees in my yard that are easy peel, that are mandarins, and they were seed grown. They're like 15. I had to be 15 years old before they ever fruited. Same way with my grapefruit and a couple other ones. But maybe yeah. So I got lucky, or yours, something.
Oh, you got to wait 15 years? Oh, my God.
Maybe I just got unlucky.
Yeah, could be, because they should come true to seed.
I'm glad you're listening.
Okay, man.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. 15 years. That's the part of that I heard.
While. Yeah, it takes
I'll just
takes
go
a
to the
long
store.
time. Yeah, because otherwise you need a grafted tree.
By the way, there's a ribbon cutting at the oh my gosh, hold on.
At the ribbon cutting at the
playground at the Ocala Downtown Market on Friday.
Nice. All right, wonderful. Go out there
playground.
that's a good thing. So the kids can play while mom shops.
Carolyn, thank you. Don't let that bully bother
No, not me.
you. Call the cops.
Everybody have
Get
a
him
great
out of
day.
there. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Travel